This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoy this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Do me a favor as you're dropping in, please start hitting the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live on a day. I hope you're doing well. Let's hit the ground running. We're going to talk about Yul Edochie real quick as an intro, and just catch up on some of the conversations going on in the comments. Somebody left a comment because yesterday I did like a follow-up, and then, this is a kind of follow-up, So, but the person has some kind of opinions about what I had to say, and they're following. You can obviously tell this is a fan of Yul Edochie. This is a fan of May Edochie. This is a fan of Judy Austin. Now they might slap me if they hear me say that, but let's relax, okay? Relax. I'm going somewhere here, but this is what the person said in their comments. The person said, social media life is not real. Don't you know that if a man is under a spell, the woman controls everything about that man? Judy wrote it and posted, Yul is not with his right senses. Any man that court gives a restraining order for his children against their father, if you have sense, any man that court gives a restraining order for his children against their father, if you have sense, you should know that something is wrong with the man. The same Yul whose son remains was in the mortuary. He was on social media dancing. He did not attend his son's burial, and the same Yul doesn't know how May, who works day and night raising her remaining children. Daniela, she said Danielle, but I think it's Daniela. Daniela graduated with a first class. Yul doesn't know how single-handed her school fees. I guess how she single-handedly handled her school fees. He cannot leave because he took blood oath with her. I guess with Judy Austin. Alleged allegations by a fan of this family, right? Because he took blood oath with her, and the mumu Yul, Judy destroyed his senses, gone. He doesn't know what is happening to him. Judy controls him spiritually. Friends disassociated with him or from him, from 100 to 0 level. Oh God! So this person is saying something is wrong with Yul Edochie. A fan of the Edochie family thinks something is wrong with Yul Edochie. Something is off. Something is off. Okay, that's an interesting take. If you ask me, that's an interesting take. But again, what was I talking about? I did the coverage because Judy Austin had a birthday, and in the midst of that, she sung a bunch of praises to Yul Edochie, now traditional husband. Yes, your argument stands that they might be committing bigamy. But when they went to court, if you remember, they said they are not married. They're just doing skits. You remember that, right? So there's a lot of things that this person said in their comment that's actually true in terms of what we've seen online. Because I stand on the fact that we still don't know everything that's going on inside. The only thing we know is what they made public, But the person started off by saying social media life is not real. Social media is as real as it's ever going to be. We're not going backwards to the age where social media was not real. Social media is real. Just like Concord newspaper was real, just as much as Concord newspaper was real, just as much as Tribune Nigerian Guardian, or even the UK Guardian or New York Post. You see how real those things are? That's how real social media is. Media is real. You might argue that, okay, it's a narrative. Everybody's painting a narrative, blah, blah, blah. Well, the fact that we tend to put our best foot forward in life, that's also a real fact. Okay. And we all try to put our best foot forward, and we all put on filters. Before there was filters on TikTok and social media, there was always filters. Okay. It just looked a little bit different, right? But as you get to know people, as you get married to them, as you get to spend time with them, more and more of them is revealed. Okay. It doesn't mean that what they showed you in the beginning was a lie. It just means that's all they were willing to show you. So in that same token, please, for the love of God, please stop saying social media is not real. And it's not the talking point itself. I'm afraid that you really apply this concept in every other area of your life, and that's going to hurt you, because social media is real. Okay. So you don't know if a man is under a spell. Actually, you don't know that. I don't know that. We might banter back around here and there and say, yes, this is in the bottle, he's acting like it. But yeah, when somebody is in love, you can also, that could be said to be under a spell. If that's what you're talking about, then I agree with you. If you're talking about some extra spiritual stuff, you don't know that, I don't know that. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. The woman controls everything that man does. Judy wrote it and posted it. Okay, so at this point, I doubt that. I think Yul knows what he's doing. Okay, but take that with a pinch of salt. Okay, what I mean is that I'm not saying he's not under a spell. I don't know that. What I'm saying is that he's posting a lot of stuff by himself as well. It doesn't mean that Judy is not posting stuff. Okay, Yul is not with his right senses. Your words, right? You might be right. I don't know. Okay, as a matter of fact, I think you're right.
Well, you're right.
I just don't think it's necessarily relevant to what we were talking about. Okay, I was talking about edification, edifying your partner, regardless of where you're coming from, because not everybody knows your story or where you're coming from, right? If they knew your story, they might just judge you just as much. Yeah, every one of us have things in our lives that can be judged. That's the truth. That's a fact. Every one of us, we have things in our lives that can be judged. But hopefully you have people in your life that will apply small grace, even in it's either you are completely wayward, or you are like what do you call a moralizer, a person who sees right and wrong in everything that other people, they're judgmental. No one wants to be around them, because if you're not walking a straight line, they will judge you. Either we're talking about you go to Deeper Life or Mountain of Fire, or be CAC, or be Anglican, or your own religion, maybe you're Muslim, and you tend to judge other people that don't follow your same lane, right? All of that is a sin as far as my own scripture is concerned. But I'm not going to judge you, because I'm just stating the fact inside of a scripture somewhere. Do not judge, right? So that's where I'm coming from a lot, because I'm talking about relationships. In relationships, you're going to need lots of grace. But guess what? If you don't give any grace at all, you just want to judge people, you go collect, right? Because everybody else will judge you, rightfully so, right? It doesn't mean you were wrong, because they are probably judging. You might even say, let them judge me. Let them judge me. At least that's how I know. At least you tell me the truth. Yes, it sounds cute, and you're right, until it no longer is cute anymore. So the person said, the same Yul whose son remains. See, again, Yul is not perfect. In fact, it's so far from perfection, because yes, to me, if you followed how I covered this over since 2022, you know that we've done our fair share of holding him accountable, whatever that means, right? But at some point, you just have to look at it and say, things are happening. Crazy things are happening. He was on social media dancing. He did not attend this. You're right. Yul doesn't know how May works. Now, here's the part that I'm like, wait, if anyone, let me see if I can find it. Okay. He did not. Okay, wait. If you have sense, I don't know if they were talking to me or not. It doesn't matter, right? If you have sense, you should know that something is wrong with that man. Here's what I'll say to that, okay? If you have sense, you can make your point without necessarily calling other people's senses out or assassinating their character. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you're right, you know. I'll just say this. When it comes to this Yul Edochie and May Edochie matter, I'm going to keep it very, very simple for you. Relax, chill, relax. You know, obviously you know the story more than me because you keep following it, right? I trust me, I know you know, but we have other things to talk about. Like, for example, your personal relationship, your personal relational skills, your self-development. How can you end up in a relationship where it's truly symbiotic? You feel fulfilled in that relationship. Don't feel like someone is taking advantage of you, or the counterpart, the other person is not feeling like you're taking advantage of them. You might not know it. Sometimes people feel like you're taking advantage of them. They feel like they can't say anything to you. They can't get a point across to you. So guess what they do? They shut down. They shut down because they don't want to hear your mouth. Those are relational skills. How do you actively listen and pay attention to those kind of things so that your quality of life can continue to improve? Because honestly, people, blessings are going to come for you to you through other people. That's the reality. And they're not always going to be your children that you've done all your power to raise. As a single parent, it's not always, it's going to be other people, and a lot of that is a function of how they feel around you. Okay, so is something wrong with Yul Edochie? I don't know, but I'm sure you're going to tell me more about how everything is wrong with him. I'll let you have that. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We have some other trendy stories around the world. Let's get to it. I'll be right back. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
Calm down. Y'all need to calm down. Y'all need to calm down. Y'all need to calm down. Is y'all cool? Y'all been dragging me for 3 or 4 days. Y'all been a little bit too mean. Like now. Y'all been a little bit too mean. I can't change shit. I can't go back in time. You know what I'm saying? I already had a baby. Y'all want me to put my baby back in my pussy? Huh? I don't know. What y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to leave my man and fuck yours? You want me to leave my man and just go and fuck yours? I don't know. What y'all want me to do? We can only go forward now. So I don't know. 2026 is in a couple of days. I have so much work to do once January starts that is stressing me out. I'm going to be away from my babies, away from my personal life, away from my home. I have to rehearse for 10 to 12 hours a day for tour. There is so many elements of production that I'm missing for tour. I'm already super stressed out. You know what I'm saying? I'm already super stressed out. I need my support system, my fans to love me. I want y'all to come to my tour and enjoy yourself with me. Don't be dragging me. It's enough. All right? It's enough. I love y'all. I want good for y'all. I want good for y'all. I want health, money, prosperity, happiness for this new year for y'all. Wish me the same thing, all right? Leave me alone, though. Shit. Damn.
All right, let's talk about Cardi B. Let's talk about Cardi B real quick. Wow. That's a lot. There's a report here on Cardi B is an American rapper, just in case you don't know. And yes, we're still talking about marriage. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about dating. We're talking about divorce and things like that. And there's an epidemic going on. I want you to pay attention to it. Women are leaving their marriage only to end up with somebody else's husband. Okay. Yes, there's an epidemic like that going on. Pay attention. So what's the solution? The solution is not to stay in a toxic marriage, but the conversation is a little bit more deeper. But let me read this article on TMZ. This was posted literally this morning. It says Cardi B passionately defends Diggs, right? That chef's line. Okay, all right. So Stefan Diggs is the guy that Cardi B ended up having her fourth child for. So she had 3 children with a guy, another rapper called Offset. And obviously their marriage was quite toxic. They went back and forth quite a bit. Even her last baby, which is her 3rd child that she had for Offset, was in the middle of a divorce that had been looming for a while. But as soon as, even before I don't know if she finalized divorce yet, but as soon as she was ready, she went ahead and got pregnant for this gentleman right here. I think he's a footballer. It's an American footballer, right? So let me read this. It says Cardi B is proving she's a ride or die for her man, vehemently defending Stefan Diggs as he faces serious charges, saying, okay, so this guy is also facing charges right now. So here's the reason why I'm covering this, because the last thing you want to do is jump from fry pan into fire. Okay, you know what ends up happening? Instead of you coming there and say, hey, I'm wrong, you know what you would tend to do? You would double down on your prideful behavior. It's not just you, it's just human behavior. If you just get to a place, you just like, okay, I guess it didn't work, or yo, to hell with you, right? And then you start saying things like, what do you want me to do? You want me to come and take your own husband? And that's, that's basically a giddy. That's just pride talking, but why do you want? Don't wait until you get into that space. If something is wrong with your marriage, it is not marriage that something is wrong with. It is with the individuals inside of the marriage. But here's a funny thing: you cannot control what other individuals do, especially if they're a romantic partner or used to be a romantic partner. The worst position to find yourself is trying to control what they do, as opposed to look back at yourself. What kind of influence do you have on other people around you? Just in general, what kind of enabler are you? That's what I want you to pay attention to. The article, which I'm still trying to read, says Cardi B is proven she's a ride or die for her man, vehemently defending Stefan Diggs. That's the new guy right now. The guy, reportedly, there's a bunch of criminal charges against him. He's had a bunch of baby mamas in the last 1 year alone. Well, it's nothing wrong as long as she can deal with it, right? But is there something wrong if she's feeling the need to jump on the internet to do shalaye every other day? Do you think something might be wrong somewhere?
We go explain because no evidence.
Anyway, again, it might be easy for you to say, but you're talking about Cardi B. I'm not like Cardi B. Yeah, it's easy to say. At the end of the day, all of us at the core, we're the same. We have so much in common than we would like to admit. And that's part of the problems. You're very quick to say, but everyone is different. Oh, but not all. You're very quick to say that, but you don't take enough time to study some of the things that are common, that are like common denominator among all of us as human beings, as a gender, in a social construct, as a country, as a tribe. You don't take the time to learn some of this stuff. So, of course, you're much more focused on saying what we already know, which is, of course, we're all unique in our own different individuality, right? Anyway, she's saying his former personal chef never previously accused the star of getting physical. So I guess he's facing some kind of criminal charge around assault. The article says the support came amid a tense social media exchange on Monday when one user pointed out Diggs' charges stemming from allegations made by his ex-employee, who claimed he choked and slapped her over a salary dispute in early December. Cardi was having none of it, clapping back and making it clear she won't tolerate any negative talk directed at Diggs. Because she claims she has all the proof she needs to believe the chef is lying through her teeth. Not once has that woman said anything to me about being touched. Not once. Okay. So Cardi B will probably think she knows better. If somebody's been abused, they can, they might be triggered by anything at any point to decide to speak out. It might not be your ideal time or position to speak out, right? That's why it's abuse, especially if you're dealing with physical abuse that involves somebody's income, where there's an obvious power dynamic. Anyway, not once has that woman said anything to me about being touched. Not once. Cardi said on X, while also posting a screenshot of a text she claims is from the chef. But the full context of the exchange is unclear. Here's the thing, just like I always say to men, if you feel the need to start doing explanation once there's this kind of allegations, it is probably too late and you're probably doing the wrong thing doing this. If there's a lawsuit, face the lawsuit. If you have a lot at stake, step down. I'm talking to the Chris Okafos of this world. Step down first and clear it out first. Face the allegations. Do what you have to do. Clean it out. If you have a reputation to protect. Doing explanations on the internet.
Explain, because no evidence.
Yeah, that's not going to fly. You know why? Because it's probably going to get mudded up and no one is going to trust or believe you anyway. Well, some will, but it will usually be people that it doesn't matter if they believe you or not. Okay. The screenshot says, I'm so sorry. I can't talk to you. I didn't say that, especially in that way. It was written. Please contact my mediator and she will answer anything you need to know, but only in person and confidently. That's Lynette sent that. That's the person that's accusing him of something, whatever it is, right? But there's a lot of lessons. There's a lot of lessons that we're covering here right now in this moment. What I'm trying to tell you is that don't put yourself in a position where you have to do explain. If you already find yourself in that position, because nobody is perfect in life, just make sure you sort through the necessary issues with the right authority, and that's your idea of truth. It's probably has limitations beyond what you can think of. So talk to professionals. It's better. And as for Cardi B, she jumped from fry pan into fire. Don't be that guy. Calm down, work on yourself. If you're coming out of a relationship, work on yourself first. For how long? I don't know, but the key thing, the objective is to make sure you're not jumping from fry pan into fire. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. I'll be right back. This is Ola, manofprestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
Yeah, and this person break up something. So she is my friend now. No bully anybody. Don't bully anybody. Bullying is not good. Please don't bully. Don't say bad about somebody. I speak to his family. I beg his family to please forgive me for everything. His family was angry, but they later they're fine. And she also she's good, and we friend. She say make her just vanish for now. I know they are rather say friend for now. Say friend. Say if God say we go day together, we go day. If God say we no go day, we no go day. And if God say we go day, but me this 2026, yeah, and this person break up something. So she is my friend now. No bully anybody. Don't bully anybody. Bullying is not good. Please don't bully. Don't say bad about somebody. I speak to his family. I beg his family to please forgive me for everything. His family was angry, but they later they're fine. And she also she's good, and we friend. She say make her just vanish for now. I know they are rather
Vanish.
say friend for now. Say friend. Say if God say we go day together, we go day. If God say we no go day, we no go day. And if God say we go day, but me this 2026. I want to focus on my life and chop my life and enjoy my life. I don't want girls around me again. Like, woman, please, please, don't approach me. Lady,
Only
I beg,
character.
I be shy to you people. Leave me alone. It's not good though. Any woman that try to toast me or talk to me, I will report you. There is the offense for you to abusing of like you want to do something with me by force by fire. So you go to N1. So you have to calm your body down. Women, please avoid me. I beg, avoid me. No woman, I beg. Nobody, please.
Oh,
If you come up on my live stream, please wear dress. Don't be open. If you come here, I want to focus on my life.
he wants to focus. Peller, if you don't know who Peller is at some point probably the topmost TikTok live streamer out of Nigeria. But I don't know what position he's in right now, but he's an influencer. Let's just call him an influencer. And unfortunately, as we predicted here, he's faced heartbreak. He's faced heartbreak, a bad heartbreak that he almost killed himself. He crashed a car. He started driving after an argument with his girl, and he almost killed himself. So now he's come out to tell us, that he's no longer interested in you ladies. Stay away from him. He said if you don't want to end up in N1 in Yoruba means prison. If you don't want to get locked up, leave this young man alone, right? Jarvis and I have broken up and we are friends now. She said I should just vanish for now. I've apologized to her family members. This 2026, I want to focus and enjoy my life. I don't want any girl around me again. He wants to focus and enjoy his life. All right, so kudos to him. But wow, I hope he's getting the much needed help. You see, it doesn't matter if he's trying. See, he can't really get his full sentences out. I don't know if he's acting or not, but he can't get full English sentences out. So there's a good chance that he struggles at English comprehension in the same manner. But for everyone else who might be going through something like Peller and Jarvis, and after you don't chop breakfast, right? Yes, you're going to feel the need. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Please help me hit the like button. There's nobody that's hit the like button. Thank you. You're going to feel the need to throw your hands in the air and throw tantrums and say, I don't even want to do anymore. Baba, we know they look Uche's face, so nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares. But that's also still consuming energy. You're doing, I don't want to do anymore. That's consuming a certain amount of energy. But I would rather you focus that energy in the right direction. What direction? I want you to focus it into self-development. Breakfast is not anybody's mate. Breakfast is not anybody's mate. The reason why we keep, it sounds like a broken way, we say work on yourself, is because you never want to be pouring from an empty cup. You want to make sure that you have enough in you to pour into other people, because when you pour into other people, you're sowing seeds, right? And the way that reciprocates back to you might not necessarily be directly through that same person, but he has his way. Don't worry, that's the mystery of life. He has his way of coming back around to you and blessing you. But this is a key thing for all of us. You have to sow seeds first. You have to sow seeds so that other people, it looks like you're harvesting, but it's the seed you've sown ultimately in the long run that will get poured back into you. But let me read some of this comments here real quick. Let me see. Somebody said, Mekuna 2 no appear for my FYP again. Last warning. Okay, so you can see somebody's already missing the lesson here. The lesson here is that Peller came out just 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe 4 weeks later, and said, you know what? I almost killed myself. But no, I'm about to focus on myself, right? Somebody said, you see heartbreak, now he wants to focus on his life. I remember when I chopped breakfast. Now once, I remember say, I get business. I come there consistent. That's a good thing. That's a real deal, right? But that's why that's the blessing in disguise when it comes to breakfast chopping, And breakfast chopping is not only in relationship and dating, no. I'm telling you, it's also in marriages, right? In small rejections, small little arguments. Somebody told you off. Somebody is silently treating you, right? Silent treatment, and all that kind of stuff adds up. Okay, it adds up, and then before you know it, what do? If you every time you hear that, get some kind of rejection. Rejection breeds obsession. Just back off and refocus that energy back on yourself and building yourself. So I'm glad he's saying that out, but it's not just saying. You actually have to focus on yourself. You actually have to execute that in real life, because oftentimes most people are just saying it. They might say no contact rule, I'm not contacting anymore, but the next time somebody hand them a small quickles for free, they will chop it, and then they are back in the same cycle. That's the blind spot that you need to make sure you're paying attention to. If you don't chop breakfast, it doesn't mean you can't get back with people, but make sure you do the necessary work so you don't end up back in the same cycle. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's get some other trendy stories around the world. I'll be right back. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
I have been married for 40 years, and I said that for you to remain married, you must be stupid for this duration.
Okay.
Logical people, intelligent people don't remain married for long. Bill Gates, Wole Soyinka, a host of them. Because you will reach a stage in life, your wife will annoy you, she will misbehave, she will do something wrong, she will start crying. You will need to apologize to her for crying, for doing something wrong. And if you are logical, you won't do that.
Good to see you.
I have been married for 40 years, and I said...
All right, he said a lot. I want you to pay attention. I'm going to play it again, okay? Because this actually came at the right timing. Let's listen to it again.
That for you to remain married, you must be stupid.
Hey.
For this duration.
Jesus.
Okay. Logical people, intelligent people don't remain married for long. Bill Gates, Wole Soyinka, a host of them. Because you will reach a stage in life, your wife will annoy you, she will misbehave, she will do something wrong, she will start crying. You will need to apologize to her for crying, for doing something wrong. And if you are logical, you won't do that.
All right, so I know what he's trying to say. As a matter of fact, Dr. Charles Akpoki is one of my favorites. YouTube, it's one of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube, content creators on YouTube. I know what he's trying to say, but there's danger in what he's saying. And I think we should spell that out, okay? I think I need to spell that. There's a lot of danger in what he's trying to say. And I need to make sure that, one of our problems when it comes to understanding relationships, modern day relationships, modern marriages, is actually English language. English language, comprehension, sentence structures. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm just telling you what I've noticed across the board, and it could be as simple. Let me even tell you that I'm also guilty. I might say one thing in one way, and you might take one sentence and you run with it, and you go and apply it in your relationship, and it will work against you, right? What did he say? He said, let me get this right. First of all, he said he's been married for 40 years. That does carry some merit, okay? But not for everybody that's been married for 40 years. Remember, there's nuances to a lot of this conversation, and there's a lot going on here that I want you to pay attention to. It's not just that he said the right thing or the wrong thing. That's why I want to remove your focus away from what is right and what is wrong. I just want to pay attention to understanding. Let's understand what we're dealing with here, particularly the nuances, it's a spectrum of understanding here. And then you come up with what works for you based on the new understanding you've gained. It doesn't mean there's no manual. Remember, I'm not telling you that there's no manual. I'm telling you that when most people say there's no manual, they're usually just lazy. They're not doing any thinking. And please don't do that, okay? He said he's been married for 40 years. That does carry some merit. So he's trying to say something that we have to pay attention to beyond just the words. He said, for you to remain married, you must be stupid. Okay, for you to remain married, you must be stupid. I saw a young man on TikTok actually repeated that same talking point. The way he said it is that you have to be a simp to be a good husband, and you have to be a pick-me to be a good wife. Nothing could be further from the truth. Okay, now again, I understand what he's trying to say. He's actually trying to make a good point, right? So it's not that he's like outrightly wrong. That's not the point of this, right? The point is that it is dangerous. Somebody's going to take that and run with it and say, uh-oh, I'm scared. That's why I never want to be a wife, because they say you have to be a pick-me. Or a guy will say, a simp, okay. No. I don't want to be a simp, right? Why? Because there's a limited that those sentences, the way he said it, that you have to be a fool, you have to be stupid, you cannot be intelligent, you cannot be logical. Those sentences are short-sighted by the very way that they are structured. Because if you're not a logical person, if you cannot rationalize the reason why you're using a strategy in your relationship, using a relational strategy within if you cannot rationalize it, how long do you think that's going to last before you start to resent the other partner, starting with yourself? You resent yourself. How long do you think that's going to last? It's not going to last. It's not sustainable, because eventually no one wants to feel like they're in an unfair situation, right? So, but yes, sometimes you have to rise above the short-term situation, right? That doesn't equal to you're not logical. As a matter of fact, you're being most logical because you're factoring the fact that some things you can't see yet. You just have to move in closer to see it. Just like you're driving to California, sometimes if you have a straight line road, if that was possible, that goes all the way from New York to California, I don't know, maybe 3,000 miles to 5,000 miles or something, right? There's only so much you can see in front of you. As you move closer, more is revealed, right? So you have to make certain decisions based off of the fact that most of the things you're looking at any point in time, you're short-sighted. You can't see all the way through. So you have to apply wisdom. That is not stupidity. That's actually logic. But it's just logic that's understanding that there are other variables involved in the situation. So you don't want to be hasty in your conclusions. Not being hasty in your conclusions does not mean you're stupid. It actually means you're a wise person. It actually means you're most logical than other people that say, oh, let's tell ourselves the truth. Let's just call a spade a spade. It actually means you're wiser than them. Okay, so that's Baba. If you listen to Baba long enough, he will eventually get to this point. I trust him on that. But I know somebody's going to run with this, okay, and think it means you have to be a fool to be in a long-term relationship. Actually, is contrary to the actual reality. You have to be one of the wisest human being in this world. It's not about what we say. Some of us can speak English, and we're terrible with these things in practice. It's about what you actually end up practicing in real life. But it's not sustainable to think all you have to be is be a fool, a simp, or a pick-me. It's not sustainable. Most of us human beings were not attracted to fools, not in the short term, not in the long term. We can tell that you are trying to appease us. We can tell that you're basically that you're patronizing us. We can tell. And it's not real, and eventually it's not sustainable. Okay, so the biggest variable in what we are saying is emotions. Master emotions. emotional intelligence. Master, it starts with understanding your own emotions. Learn it. Learn how you operate from an emotional standpoint. Stop calling yourself this macho logical person. You're not. You're an emotional being. And yes, you can be logical as long as you factor in the fact that you're an emotional person as the biggest variable of it all. It doesn't mean you move from a place of emotions. It means you acknowledge that there are emotions at play so that you don't move from a place of emotions. So that statement is short-sighted all in itself. You have to listen to the full podcast to understand where it's coming from. And please don't go into relation being a fool. It will backfire badly. Don't go and pick up somebody who is quote unquote a pick me somewhere and you think they're going to be feminine forever. It will backfire badly. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Somebody said most successful men are married. It's very hard to get into certain spaces as a man without the stability of marriage. Somebody said there's some truth to this. Y'all can say what y'all want. Because again, there are nuances to what he's trying to say. And I trust this Baba that he's probably going to get there beyond a 1 minute or one minute clip. Do me a favor. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. And let's get on to some other trendy stories. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife, Lola, and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Cubana Chiefpriest. Cubana Chiefpriest alleged baby mama drags his sister. I don't know what they're talking about. What I can tell you is that Cubana Chiefpriest had some drama. He has an alleged baby mama out there who is claiming that, it's been going on 2 years, probably now, at least more than a year, that this young lady has been accusing Cubana Chiefpriest of this situation. Anyway, according to Remedy blog, consistency expert Ellen Blast, they call her consistency because she keeps dragging this guy, right? She was in I don't know if it was Dirty December. She came to Dirty December allegedly, and she got pregnant for this young man, Cubana Chiefpriest, who is Chiefpriest, who is an associate of Davido. It used to be an associate of what's his name, Cubana, Obi Cubana, an associate of many people, in Nigeria, influential people. He's also an artist now, I think. So this young lady started dragging him that she got pregnant for him, but he's denied it. He's denied it ever since then. But this young lady, she jumps on TikTok every other day or so, and she continues to drag him woto by the blockhouse. Okay, so it says consistency expert Ellen Blast, one of Pascal's sister, his real name is Pascal, for allegedly talking about her and congratulates the other one on her new car given to her by her brother. Okay, so this is the quote, direct quote right here. It says, Pascal, tell that your stupid and pathetic sister to stop mentioning my name, because she will not like it. I don't understand. Am I the one who make with these people, they can't type something. I guess it's a Gen Z way of typing. Let's call it that. I don't understand. Am I the one who make her leave her husband in Cotonou and come with another man in Nigeria? Jesus Christ. She's a monitoring spirit. She knows everything about that family. Dangerous. This is the kind of dangerous game that some men play. You expose your family, allegedly. Now everybody knows about everyone, especially in this internet age. They see somebody in your picture, they start Googling and searching that person and looking for information about that person. She said, why must she always call my name? I didn't tell your brother not to buy you a car. The way you're parading my name everywhere, telling people that I am the cause. Tell those your men to buy you a car on your birthday. That's the sister. Oh my God. I almost thought it was Chiefpriest. Let's see, Cubana Chiefpriest. For your information, I'm not the angle. I'm not the angle. Why does she look like that family? Ellen look like that family to me. I mean, is it me or is it me? Look at her. She look like she's from that same family. I have a suspicion. I suspect that this lady is actually not from Kenya. That she's actually one of Cubana Chiefpriest's sister, right? And of course, she has a son that looks like Cubana Chiefpriest. I mean, those eyes, to me, they look like the same thing, And he's like, just drag me so I can get more popular, just for cloud chasing. Imagine if we're all being the butt of the joke all the while. I think this is my first time covering this anyway. Oh, wow. Said, I'm not the angle. Do you understand that you don't respect? Go back to your husband in Cotonou and stop payment to F you, because I'm not desperate like you. Ho, Jesus Christ. And then goes on to tag another sister, possibly our own sister too, because they look too much alike. Goes on to say, you're a good girl, not like that your pig sister who doesn't have shame. Congratulations on your new car that Pascal, your bro, bought you. Happy birthday. Once again, don't be like your sister. Very desperate pig. Ouch. Next week is your son's birthday, Pascal. I want to see what you will do. Let's wait and see. Now, keep in mind that Pascal, is that how you pronounce it? Pascal has denied any kind of connection with this young lady. He doesn't know her, but I mean, she's been dragging him for such a long time, But he's tried to keep it quiet and not answer, but I think he's answered at least one time, and he's basically, but I'm not sure if it was direct or not. But what happens, for those of you that are lawyers, what happens if somebody is filing a lawsuit, right? If somebody files a lawsuit from between international jurisdictions, and they say, hey, I have a baby for you. What happens? How do you enforce that kind of thing? At least to do a DNA. How do you enforce somebody taking care of their responsibility just in case? Because, I mean, imagine how many people ended up in Dirty December, this last December, right now. From Kenya, from Zambia, from Ghana, from Uganda, from America, from UK. And now they're pregnant, and somebody saying, I don't know who thou art. I don't know where thou come from. I don't know you, right? How do you get them to take responsibility for a baby that's on the way? I'm curious, right? Now, between Kenya and Nigeria, because this young lady, she has a decent followers now. Like last time I checked, she had a decent follower, a number of followers that are probably supporting her. She's building a platform, content creation. And also, if somebody lied and they're defaming my name that they have a baby for me, how do I protect my name? How do I hold them accountable? Because one of the two people is at least lying in this situation. There's at least one of them that's lying, right? How do I hold the right person accountable in this case? That's what I want to know. If you're a lawyer, please drop your comment. Let me know what you think about this one, because this issue has been going on for a while, and it seems like it's not going to go anywhere. And it seems like Pascal is just saying, well, you will get tired one day. But this young lady, as they call her the consistency expert, she doesn't look like she's going to get tired. Not to me, Somebody said, but the boy look more like her now. I've been at my eyes. She looked like Pascal. What are you talking about? To me, she looks like that family. Just my eyes, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Somebody said the consistency. Next week is your son's birthday. I want to see what you will do. And then somebody said, how does she know so much about them like this? In this internet, a lot of people are monitoring. When I say monitoring spirits, you better believe it. Somebody said, you will go sweet Yeah, we go sweet now. From January, you go no. Welcome to the comment section. Consistency, that's the key for this year's everyone, guys. It's true. If we walk away from this story with anything else, if not with anything else, let's walk away with consistency. But this is really what I wanted to say. When you end up in these streets, if you end up in these streets bringing people like to say soul tie. Every time you sleep with somebody, you deposit. They try to spiritualize it, which is why a lot of people get away with those kind of atrocities. Well, they never really get away, but not because it's spiritual. It's because we are already spiritual. And yes, when you expose yourself, right? If you are out there sleeping with anything, anyhow, or you try it one time, let me tell you something. Some of the worst stories I've ever seen is just that one. May God help all of us. It's just that one time trying of something, though. You end up with the wrong pregnancy, you end up with the wrong disease, God forbid, or you end up with somebody that will be dragging you and your family and exposed everything about your family. So I mean, it's sweet when it's sweet, especially if it's a secret, but you end up with the wrong person. You end up inside the wrong pickles. You see what happened to Chris Okafor? Even his own seems like he's been doing that for a while. I'm just saying, be careful. Protect your home. Protect your home. Do everything, because even if your wife is on your side and she's loyal, it's not sustainable. If this story is actually true, it's not sustainable. Eventually, she will break and cave in. Chia says her and her child looks like Cubana Chiefpriest. Thank you. That's what I thought. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's move on to some other trendy stories around the world. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, man of prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoy this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, let's listen to this.
Is rich, he's a potential soulmate or very eligible bachelor to 75% of Nigerian women. I conducted a Vineyard experimental survey last year, and I found that 75% of Nigerian women would rather be second, third, fourth wives to a rich man than an only wife to a poor man. And the research also showed that 75% of Nigerian women are no longer dating for love and romance, and are dating for survival and security. We went through ethnicity, religion, employed versus unemployed, and the results and the statistics were just staggering. I would like this to be like a discussion in offices. Ask your friends what they think, do your own research and see the results you get, and ask yourselves why this is happening. Personally, I think the amount of successful men are few, and women are feeling like, I would rather get cheated on with a rich guy than cheated on with a poor guy. If your husband is rich, he's a potential soulmate or very eligible bachelor to 75% of Nigerian women. I conducted a Vineyard experimental survey last year, and I found that 75% of Nigerian women would rather be second, third, fourth wives to a rich man than an only wife to a poor man. And the research also showed that 75% of Nigerian women are no longer dating for love and romance, and are dating for survival and security. We went through ethnicity, religion, employed versus unemployed, and the results and the statistics were just staggering. I would like this to be like a discussion in offices. Ask your friends what they think, do your own research and see the results you get, and ask yourselves why this is happening. Personally, I think the amount of successful men are few, and women are feeling like, I would rather get cheated on with a rich guy than cheated on with a poor guy. If your husband is rich, he's a potential soulmate or
very eligible bachelor to 75% of Nigerian women. I conducted a Vineyard experimental survey last year, and I found that 75% of Nigerian women would rather be second, third, fourth wives to a rich man than an only wife to a poor man. And the research also showed that 75% of Nigerian women are no longer dating for love and romance and are dating for survival and security. We went through ethnicity, religion, employed versus unemployed, and the results and the statistics were just staggering. I would like this to be like a discussion in offices. Ask your friends what they think, do your own research and see the results you get, and ask yourselves why this is happening. Personally, I think the amount of successful men are few, and women are feeling like I would rather.
All right. So I guess he posted percentage of women in general open to polygamous marriage by Vignet-based survey experiment. Okay. Wait, Chinye says, Oga, who did you survey? Bikonu? That's a good question, right? That's a good question. Let me see. It's a good question. This is Joro Olumofin. Is the self-proclaimed love doctor, and he's always pushing out some of this stuff. Another percentage of age group. There's a percentage of age group of women open to polygamous marriage by age groups. 25 to 35, 36% are open. Between 50 to 65, 22% are open. Okay, wait, is it 22 to, okay, 22% of what is this exactly? Wait, between 35 to 50, 42% are open. Okay, so is it 42% of all people within that age range? Or are you telling us that of all women, 42% of them are between 35 or 50? What are we looking at? God have mercy. What are we looking at? Jesus. This was a percentage. Okay, let me see. Maybe label was okay. Percentage of age groups of women open. Okay, so this is percentage of those age group or people within that age group that are open to polygamous. Okay, so I can see this 25 to 35. Okay, but 50 to 65. Many of them are open to it because they are later on they're seasoned women, right? 35 to 50, Oshin Shako, they're still like, no, I'm not interested. They still feel like they have options. 25 to 65, they're actually more open to it. Is it because they're more Gen Z-ish and they're put it into logic, like what's wrong? As long as he takes care of me, right? But the people between 35 and 50, which is majority of you that watch this platform, how did I know? I know I have numbers, right? They're saying most of you are coconut head and you will not succumb to polygamy at any cost, regardless of what the studies show. Anyway, let's look at this. Say percentage of women open to polygamous marriage by religion. When it comes to Christianity, of course, most Christians are not open to it. Muslims, we could probably already predict that. All right, so what is this? Maslow hierarchy of needs. Okay, well, needs are needs. It's not something I expect you to admit to. It takes extensive studies to really get the truth out of these things. It's not just, I'm just telling the truth. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're telling the truth. I don't necessarily expect you to tell me you're telling me a lie.
Oh, you're right.
So let's see. Another one here says percentage of women open to polygamous. If they're unemployed, 70% of them are open to it. If they're employed, okay, so this one is obvious, right? If they're employed, they don't need your money. So percentage open to polygamy by ethnicity. Igbo people are not open at all. Chinye, you said Unano they open at all. Hausa people are more open. Yoruba, I think we could probably predict these numbers. Again, Joro Olumofin is always coming out with some of this stuff. We don't know the validity of them, but here's what I can tell you. The claim, okay, I pulled up some information real quick, and it says the claim that 75% of Nigerian women prefer polygamy is false and likely stems from a misunderstanding of older studies or specific sub-regions. I think this is what Chinye was driving at. Who did you survey? who was in it. So I would say, depending on the region, so if it's a bunch of women in Nigeria, I can probably see how that number might be closer to truth than outside of Nigeria. Modern data actually suggests that the opposite. A vast majority of Nigerian women today express a preference for monogamy. Okay. With some studies showing nearly 80% of women wanting polygamy to be eradicated. However, the reality of polygamy in Nigeria is complex and varies significantly based on geography, religion, and economic status. One, while the 75% preference figure is not supported by current national data, the practice itself is still present. We know that people are practicing polygamy in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, approximately 28 to 36% of married Nigerian women are in polygamous unions. Okay, or maybe to be more specific, polygyny. This is down from much higher rates in previous decades, obviously, right? But also part of that is that less people are actually getting married because, you know, people can't afford it. A lot of people cannot afford it. And then in 2003, there's a study of 2,000 Yoruba women found that 80% wanted the practice to end. More recent surveys consistently show that as education and urbanization increase, preference for polygamy decreases. Oh, it's westernization. Westernization does not mean America. It means exposure to the internet. Okay. In the North, predominantly Muslim, polygamy is more widely practiced and socially accepted due to Sharia law, again, for obvious reasons. All right. What else do we have here? Let me there's some nuances here, but let me read this first. So, why do women enter these unions? If many women don't prefer it, why does it persist? There are nuances to this conversation. The reasons are really about preference in the Western sense and more about pragmatism and survival. There you go. Like you just believe it or not, pragmatism is moving people in that direction, saying, you know what? If this man wants me and it's like 60 or 55 and it's going to give me everything I want to survive, survival. The number one key for women, generalized, not you specifically, generalized, is security. Security comes in many forms. One of those forms is financial security. Yes, don't be surprised if somebody decides that they will justify it. And they won't justify with the truth. They will justify how they deem fit to protect their feelings still, because they know you might attempt to drag them if you're a feminist. Okay? So those are some of the nuances. In certain traditional contexts, being married even into a polygamous home carries more social capital. Yes, you didn't know that? Yes. And respect than remaining single. Those are just a little bit of some of the things you might be know. So he might have surveyed, I don't know, maybe 50 people, 20 people, which, by the way, that number would be shady to survey such a small amount of people. But it is true, okay, that majority of women would settle for polygamy if it becomes a matter of security and survival. I don't expect anyone to admit to that. Don't argue with your phone screen, though. Don't do it, though. Okay, at the end of the day, what we need is usually different from what we say we need. It takes a certain level of self-awareness to understand where we're speaking from. Okay, so I would say it would, if you want to call it, settle for, or whatever you need, whatever human beings need to do to survive is what they do, including cheating, stealing, and lying. I will never cheat, steal, and lie. Okay. Okay, you're right.
You're right.
All right, do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We have some other trendy stories around the world. We'll be right back.
This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number One Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.
All right, let's listen to this.
Supporting your wife is if she carries the burden, the financial burden of the house for too long, it will take its toll on your marriage. I don't care how supportive, how godly she is. I don't care how much she loves you. Why? She's not built for it. And unfortunately, most women don't have the wisdom required in that phase of their relationship. They are feeling genuine stress, but they don't know how to communicate it well so that their communication can build, not destroy. Because at that phase of the life of a man, is more sensitive than ever. Anything you say will be held against you at the court of law. Anything you say will be remembered at that time because it's an extremely sensitive period and phase of their life. So as a man, you have to be intentional about building your finances. Whether you like it or not, you have to provide. God has put you in that space. In fact, scripture says the man who cannot provide for his family is worse than an infidel and has denied the faith. And I strongly recommend you go back to that message series on God and money. It's on our website, free. Listen to it again and again.
Wow, who is this? Is Dr. This is Lawrence Onochie. Lawrence Onochie. Dr. Lawrence Onochie. He is saying it is not. Let me just read this. This is I'm reading directly from Linda AKG blog official. It says Nigerian clergyman says letting your wife carry the financial burden. Hold on 1 second. Letting her carry the financial burden for too long can damage a marriage. A Nigerian clergyman has shared a strong message on marriage finances and responsibility, warning men against allowing their wives to shoulder the financial burden of the home for an extended period. According to him, no matter how loving, supportive, or spiritually grounded a woman is, carrying the financial weight of the household for too long can take a serious toll on the marriage. And I quote, I don't care how supportive, Onochie, I don't care how supportive your wife is. If she carries the financial burden of the house for too long, it will affect the marriage. She's not built for it, he said. He explained that while many women experience genuine stress during such phases, they often struggle to communicate it in a way that builds the relationship rather than damages it. At the same time, he noted that men going through financial difficulty are usually in a very sensitive phase of life, where every small comment can leave lasting emotional scars. At that stage of a man's life, he's extremely sensitive. Anything you say will be remembered. The clergyman stated. He went on to emphasize that men must be intentional about building their finances and building their role as providers, stressing that responsibility is not optional. Lawrence Onochie. I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. Again, this is not one of those things where I expect you to necessarily admit to without thinking through it. Okay? I don't necessarily expect you to admit to it without thinking through it. I believe that, obviously we're in a shift. When it comes to gender roles, men are responding to the fact that bills everywhere, and it's probably unrealistic to expect an average man to carry the financial weight of sustaining a family, especially in the Western world where you want to have 2 cars in the family. Both cars must be Range Rover or better. You want to live in a large house with at least 4 bedrooms or better. And for an average man, in order to do that, they're going to need the support of their wife. The wife will need to work a full time, right? So in addition, you had that layer on top of the layer of women are decentering men. Please, ladies, don't use that language. That language is lame. Okay? When it comes to romantic relationships and marriage, do not use that language. You can use it if you're like what do you call it? Chimamanda, and you're having like a talk at the United Nations level, and we're fighting for equality of rights and outcome for women. I agree with that 100%. At that level, at the social level, macro level, sure. When it comes to marriage, romantic relationships, it's absolutely lame to use languages like decentering men. Okay, do not replace it with decentering family members, decentering mother. It's just lack of game. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, the reality is that we have social constructs that you enjoy a certain type of double standard, and the other side also enjoy the double standard as well, their own side of the double standard. It's about strength and weaknesses. Okay, so so this young man he's trying to, I call him a young man, looks like someone in his 60s. This Baba is trying to make a point here, I guess, and I would say it's not a matter of letting your wife. I think it's a matter of being sensitive to the environment you live in. Um, Social and emotional intelligence. That's what it comes down to. Okay. Social and emotional intelligence obviously involve active listening. It's not just the environment you live in, but the times, the phase of life, the stage of life that you and your spouse that you're in. Sometimes financially it's tough, right? And yes, gentlemen, you will be required to lead, even if she's saying it's all partnership, there's no leadership. You in real life, you will be required to lead. And if you buy into that rhetoric, you will collect more. It will get worse for you. Even though if she's the same person that's saying we're both partners and equal partners, she expects you to carry the heavier weight of leading.
Sorry, oh.
If you can't do it, you will be replaced directly or indirectly. How is that fair? Well, it's fair because clearly you're fighting for fairness. You don't know your position as a man. It is what it is. But this woman should also know, yeah, exactly. See that those kind of languages, it's essential. Those are exactly the reason why she can't respect you. She's having a hard time respect you. So instead of her to probably seek help, she's also doubling down on it. She's agreeing with you. She's playing equality with you. She's playing fairness with you. Okay, because that's what you are agreeing to. But back to the conversation itself. It is never about money. On the surface, it looks like money. It's about when there's crisis, how do you handle the crisis when there's active crisis going on in your relationship? Okay, it is easy to blame money because all of us are striving higher every day. When you get to a new level, you want something better, right? So money can always be an issue, just like it's an issue for money can, if you turn it about money, then you go collect. It's not really about money. Money is just one of those easier things to point fingers at, and usually there's some kind of crisis going on, good enough to point fingers at. Okay, but I think it's more so about leadership. How do you handle yourself as a man if you find yourself in that space, right? When you're making all the money, you're a multiple six-figure earner, it's easy to act like you're a man at that point in time, but it will be tested when you end up in the valley sometimes where things are not where it's supposed to be. So yes, if she's stepping up and she's doing the needful and she's stressed out, do you start to interpret that with your insecurity and say, is it because you're not helping with finances? Do you go in defensive mode first and then you end up in divorce? And then instead of us talking about you got defensive, you want to talk about, well, she wasn't supportive or she got pride. Yeah, two things can be true at the same time, but it's more so the defensiveness. That defensiveness is 1/4 of what it takes to end up in divorce. Okay, defensiveness, criticism, contempt, and what's the fourth one? Stonewalling. Those are the signs right there that you need to pay attention to. I'm not talking about what created the defensiveness. Yes, she might have been disrespectful, but when you find yourself in that space, did you know how to handle yourself? If you don't know how to handle yourself, see, I'm not saying anything specific because it will be dependent on your specific story. What else is going on in your specific relationship? But what I'm telling you across the board is that once you end up in a space where someone is being defensive, especially if you claim you want to lead, yes, it's going to backfire badly. And guess what? You'll be right if you want to blame her, because I cannot judge you for wanting to blame, but blaming her will actually help you perpetuate the issues you're dealing with again. It's poisonous. It gets worse and worse because blaming her is focused on who is right and who is wrong, as opposed to finding a way to put the team back together and fight the forces of evil against your relationship or your marriage. Everything I just said is easier said than done. So you might need support system sometimes, whatever form it comes in, because like I said, it's going to feel unfair. Shout out to Bruce. Bruce said, I got hurt and my wife took care of us for 4 years while I got better. We have been married 29 years. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so is this generalized point of views, we have to be careful. While I understand where it's coming from, making it about money is just super dangerous. Thank you for sharing that. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notification so you are notified whenever we drop videos and go live. I've got a ton of videos. Make sure you go watch at least 3 videos as soon as we're done with the session. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll be back in due time.
This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.